back in Phoenix. End of the first weekend of March Madness. What a doozy that was since we had our last episode last Wednesday. Um, yeah, I'm hella tired. I'm not going to lie. This weekend was so exhausting just watching all the games. Hella fun, though. Um, Honestly, I'm thankful that we get a couple days to chill for a second before the Sweet 16 starts on Thursday. But yeah, Zach, how was your weekend?
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, exhausting is probably the only word I could use to describe a lot of it. Early mornings, not that early, but like early mornings getting up for games. Uh, got some fire food yesterday. That's crazy, but not. I'm not saying you're wrong, but that's crazy. Uh,
Absolutely.
yeah, awesome weekend of games. My bracket's cooked. Your bracket's even more cooked.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but who cares at this point? It's all about just March. It's all about
Watching
March
hoops.
Madness.
Yeah.
Good hoops, good players. Darius Acuff. So let's get into it. Koa, how's your bracket?
I don't know what bracket you're talking about, bro. I don't have a bracket.
What the bracket in our little FT and B bracket?
I don't have a bracket, bro. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, now this bracket's cooked. Obviously my winner. Shout out the Spartans. We still in it. Um, but looking at the rest of it, boy, it's out the mud. Um, I mean, first off, let's just go through some of the first round matchups that I picked that I did not get right. Uh, for some reason, I picked Ohio State over TCU. I don't know why I did that. I was on TCU the entire time. I have no recollection of actually picking Ohio State in this one, but whatever. Cal Baptist over Kansas. Now that one was actually a run for his money. Dominic Daniels, I told y'all, he had a game and a half. Louisville, South Florida. You know, if South Florida made two more threes, they win that game. Uh, and I picked Nebraska. I picked Troy over Nebraska.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
Boy, yeah, it's out the mud. We got the Troy Trojans over here. Then I picked St. Mary's over Texas A&M.
I still can't believe in my main bracket you convinced me to pick Troy. Like you talked me into it. Like obviously there was some other outside factors like just people I saw that like talked me into picking Troy, but that was just such a dumb pick. I don't know why I did it. It's
Yeah,
awful.
I don't know why I did that either. Then I picked Santa Clara in Kentucky. Should have been Allen Graves' moment. I picked Hofstra
That,
over
that,
Bama.
that was
God
awful.
damn. I picked BYU over Texas. Damn. Picked Wisconsin over High Point. Cried myself to sleep that night. That was my first round. Then we don't even need to get the second round, but yeah, that I think the worst pick
It
I
has to be
had
Troy.
was
It has to
Troy.
be Troy. It has to be Troy. Like
I mean, that
now
team.
Nebraska's in the Sweet 16 too. It
Yeah, I
just
mean,
makes it even
picking
worse.
Troy, Jenny. Like picking Troy was that just that 13-4 matchup where you just pick it because you need some, fun in your
Yeah.
bracket. Watching that game for the first 10 minutes of the first half, I slunk back in the recliner, almost took a nap, and yeah, that was just awful. That was just what the second game of the day too on Thursday.
Yeah, it was
Yeesh,
awful.
I
At
was already
first, it was a
tired as
bit like
hell.
it just wasn't even that close. I don't. It was an
It wasn't
awful
even
game.
that
Awful
close. Yeah, bro,
basketball.
they lost by 30.
Like
Sorry,
I'd be fine.
29.
I'd be fine if they made it an interesting game and lost. But
That's probably the I don't know. Is that the worst?
that
Like,
was the
is that
worst.
the
That's the
worst
worst game of,
loss?
of madness so far. That's definitely the worst game.
You don't think Florida
Uh,
Prairie View?
yeah, Florida Prairie View was also pretty bad. St. Louis, Georgia also was awful.
Yeah, my
Last night too,
goodness.
Bama Tech sleeper like buns game. That game was so garbage.
Man, that late night slate last night was actually some buns as well too. Honestly, you had Houston A&M at one point. Oh, not Houston A&M.
No,
It
that was
was
no. You had UConn, UCLA.
yeah, UConn, UCLA. Yeesh.
U of
Bama
A,
Tech.
Utah State was the only interesting one, but that one just started. That got out of hand.
Yeah, absolutely got out of hand. Um, I mean, yeah, Zach, how's your bracket looking right now?
Just go through the first round. Uh, USF, heartbreaking, heartbreaking. lost by 4 points, missed like 8 threes, or not 8 threes. That's like underselling it.
Yo,
They missed
they
like
missed
20
26.
threes.
Yeah.
Okay. Like they
No, I swear. Let me look at this right now. The
they shot
Louisville,
so poorly from three. Literally, all you need is two more to go in. You win this game. I mean, Louisville did not win that game. South Florida lost that game. I think that's very easy to say.
yeah, I
I
mean,
mean,
you look at the box score, Louisville had 22 turnovers. You
yeah, they
99
were
out
some
of
of the
100
worst.
times.
They were some of the worst turnovers you've ever seen too.
Oh
Like,
yeah, just dribble off the foot,
yeah,
lazy passes. I mean, 22 turnovers in a game at any level of basketball, 99 out of 100 times you do not win a game. But the
yep,
one time that it happens is when the other team shoots 5 of 33 from 3 and you only sneak
abysmal.
by 4.
It's not like they were
Uh
bad. Like they were bad looks either. They got some really good looks from outside. Like they
oh,
just could not
absolutely.
shoot to save their lives.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
mean,
it's so heartbreaking. I had USF in the Sweet 16. I don't think that's that crazy to say because look at how Louisville played Michigan State this whole
oof,
time without Mikel Brown. Like they played a 8 point game. Like there
yeah.
is a real chance that USF could have beat MSU and moved on to the Sweet 16. So that pick has me a bit distraught. I know it has a couple in our friend group distraught, but yeah, it's
Yeah,
awful.
I mean, it
Another
just
pick I had wrong. I had UCF over UCLA. I know you were big on UCLA, like you were harping on me that UCLA should win because of Donovan Dent, which isn't crazy, but it was a close game, and
it was
I have
close,
no
yeah.
shame. I have no shame in picking UCF. I feel like like there were many times throughout that game in which they could have just went on that run and took in control of the game and just won it, but just short. So I
Yeah,
can't
I
hate
mean,
it too
that
much.
was a that was one of those games that it just felt like UCLA was in control the entire time, but it didn't show on the box score or the scoreboard at all. But it was almost a wire to wire win for UCLA. It just I think we were talking about this like it literally just felt like they had like control of that game the entire way through, but they only won by 4, which you'd look back and be like, huh, maybe UCF didn't really stand a chance. Probably one of my favorite games though from this first round
Yeah.
was that VCU North Carolina game. Let's talk
Yeah,
about
that
that
was
for a
electric.
second.
That was electric. We both picked VCU, right?
Yes, we both did. Yeah,
Yeah. What a game. What a game. What was the comeback? 19 points?
19 points, largest comeback, sixth largest comeback in tournament history for the
It was the
VCU
largest in
Rams.
first round history, right? I
Yes, it
believe I
was.
saw
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Electric game. I mean, we thought it was out of hand. We thought everybody who was watching it with us thought it was like we were all idiots for picking VCU. But they clutched up. I mean, I can't describe how bad this is for UNC. I mean, Hubert Davis is surely out the door at this point. Like I don't even think that's a question.
yeah.
But
I think from this game, I think what I said about Dominique Daniels and Cal Baptist, with those edits in a couple years, will be Terrence Hill Jr. instead, because that boy was on a heater this game.
Nick Lewis,
34 points. Nick Lewis, my boy. Um, I mean this game just went. At one point, what they had a 19-point lead with what like it was like 7 minutes to go, almost 8 minutes to go. It felt like, and then VCU hit a couple big shots, cuts down to like about 14, 13. And they get another couple big buckets on fast break points, cuts it down to like single digits. And you're like, wow, VCU can really get into this. Then it went overtime. Now overtime was low key little buns, but hey, VCU pulled it out. Um, UNC, yeah, as you say, Hubert Davis, he's got to be out the door. I mean, I've seen reports he's basically already out. I think they're having a conversation today or like a meeting today or tomorrow about his future. But if he's not forced out the door, I mean, I would expect the community of Chapel Hill to be knocking on his door to personally take him out themselves. So
yeah,
yeah,
that's crazy. But moving on, I also picked St. Mary's over A&M. I don't think this is like too crazy to say. Like I'm not. I am upset about it because that was an awful performance from St. Mary's. But like still don't think it was that crazy to think
yeah,
that
because look at
that
how A&M got ran by Houston.
exactly like I don't think either were that good of basketball teams, but it just sucks the way that St. Mary's went down. Continuing
Yeah,
on with the first round,
Let's talk about.
Arkansas, Hawaii.
Oh God,
Arkansas, Hawaii.
that was just a
I'm just get it out of the way. I picked Arkansas to the Sweet 16, I picked Hawaii to the Sweet 16. Uh, you're gonna have to hear me out on this.
No, I don't know if
I
there's any here now you could be doing right
yes,
to
there
prove
is.
wrong.
There absolutely is. I bought so heavily into Hawaii's defensive infrastructure. I thought they were going to be able to bother Darius Acuff. I thought they were going to just get him off his game, and I thought without him on his game that the sky was the limit for Hawaii. But this game just wasn't interesting at any particular point throughout it. So I was wrong. I went a bit too woke there. That was a bit that's on me. But in the second round, I gotta say, I think it was completely fair for me to have Hawaii moving on. I had them playing my analytic darlings in High Point, so I had them beating the High Point and moving on to the Sweet 16. So yeah,
Yeah. Hey, talk
wasn't a
about
great
that
pick.
game, man.
But let's
Wisconsin
go
was
back. Let's go back to my great pick in where I picked High Point over Wisconsin. How about it, man? Come on.
yeah, I picked Wisconsin the Sweet 16. Uh I was probably the highest person on Wisconsin in the world. In some brackets I had them in Final Four talks. Um just what an awful way to lose that game. I mean, shout out Chase Johnston. Just watching that shot back where he's in transition as a trail guy and gets the catch and shoot and
It's
pulls up from like
nuts. It's nuts.
36 feet is unbelievable, and credit to him. And then the game winner where he got, on a fast break, they got a steal or a turnover, and he made his first 2-point bucket of the season, which is unbelievable. He
Yeah,
was
1 for 1
one
on
for
twos.
five, or one for one on two. No,
I
I think
think it
he's
was,
taken a couple twos. He just hasn't made one.
I thought that was his first attempt.
No,
I don't
I think that
know.
was his. I think that was his. Maybe that was his first attempt. Whatever. Just
Either way,
first
it was
bucket. It's just
electric.
unbelievable. Yeah.
That's why you play
And
basketball. I
yeah,
mean,
I
that's
had
why you watch
Wisconsin winning.
basketball. Like, regardless, that is awesome.
Yeah, I had Wisconsin winning. It just it was one of those March mixed emotions thing where obviously I love to see that moment for all the the moments in March Madness, but then as a guy that was high on Wisconsin, it's just gutting to see that they lost in that fashion. And they kind of shot themselves in the foot. The turnovers late in the game, they had multiple down the stretch, and then just not closing out on shooters. Obviously, Chase went dummy in the final 10 minutes. He hit maybe I think 4 or 5 threes at the end. So kudos to High Point. But my other pick that kind of made me want to cry, Santa Clara was in my Sweet 16. Shout out Allen Graves. Man, it should have been his moment against Kentucky. And then obviously Otega Owe had other options and other things, other plans for that game. But what a game that was. I mean, that one was one of the most competitive games I think I've seen in this tournament already. It was wire to wire the entire way through. Santa Clara went on a little bit of a run at the end. Kentucky came back. They took a lead. Then Santa Clara bounced back a little bit. Then they tied it up. And then obviously Allen Graves hit that big shot with 2.5 seconds left. And then Kentucky fires it to Owe. He hits the game winner or the game tying shot with no seconds left. And then let's just talk about it right now because I'm hot about this game right now. What's his name? I need a
We don't know his name. It's number 2.
I you know what? It's in my group chat somewhere because we were texting about it. Sash Gavalyugov, my brother in Christ. What were you doing in those final 2 possessions that you had for your team? You got packed on one end, on one of them.
It was by the same guy. It was by the same guy
Yeah.
too.
You got packed by Kentucky's big man. I don't even know what his name was. I don't care what his name was. You got packed by him on a 3-point shot. Then they go down on a fast break, dunk it, right? Sinclair calls timeout. Boom. All right, we're down. We're down 2. We're down 2. We're gonna drop a play. And if the play goes wrong, y'all just play basketball, right? Play went right. Number 2 gets the ball again. Same shot. Tries to go to the big man. Bow. I'm sitting there. Oh my God. What are we doing? This is just awful for the sport of basketball.
It was absolutely unreal. I mean,
what were you thinking in that moment
we're
to
sitting
get
there
packed on
watching that
back-to-back
with
plays,
Reese.
man?
That was so funny, man. Reese was actually screaming during that. That
Yes.
was
I mean,
awesome.
I was
I don't
screaming
blame
inside,
him.
bro.
I don't blame him. That was horrendous. I can't believe Alan Graves, my goat, our goat, got sold like that in the biggest of moments, bro. Like
Yeah.
that was
All my
supposed to be his game-winning three. That was supposed to be analytics nerds, spreadsheet FC, whatever you want to call it. That was supposed to be our big win, bro. But I'll take it away. Shout out him, man.
I'll take
I
always one of
can't
the
say
best
anything.
college players.
I
Yeah.
can't say anything but fairs. Like usually, I don't like college players that much that they have no path to the big or to the majors. Sorry, I'm saying baseball terms to the NBA. I don't like players who have like no path to the NBA or aren't like favorable to play in the NBA. But man, Otega Owe is such a good basketball player. He's so fun to watch. He's he might have one of the best clutch genes in college basketball that in the last few years that we've seen, and that was probably a defining moment right there in his clutch career. Just what a shot! I mean, backwards against the wall, running in transition, just flung it up, magically banked in. I mean, that was cinema. That's the only way I can describe it. Just
Yeah.
cinema.
It all my I have a lot of people I know that I go or I know a lot of people that go to Santa Clara and SC and all that kind of stuff, and they're always texting me and they're like, so like everybody around this time always just texts me about sports because whatever they just know I'm a sports nerd in my
Yeah,
home, but like they text me they're like, man, number two might be worse than Brandon Pajemski as the worst Santa Clara player in history. I was like, y'all ain't even wrong there, bro. Um,
bro.
but yeah, that's just
That's
awful.
crazy disrespect to pods, bro.
They just
Like,
hating on pods,
like,
bro.
bro? Can we stop the pods agenda, bro? Like,
No, we're not stopping the
I
pods
got some
agenda.
crazy looks for saying that he gets some crazy like slander.
Hey, we're not stopping the pods hate until he scores 30. Okay, how about that?
Hey, once he scores 30, you have to admit that he's the future of the Warriors, and
Fine,
he's their backcourt their backcourt mate of the
cool.
future.
I'll
All
do
right,
it. Do it.
bet.
I'll shake on this right now.
Air shake.
Air shake, air shake. Where's your hand
There
at?
we
There
go.
you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
run that.
Make a
Uh,
circle next time you do it. Um,
Bro. I hikey. I just realized it in this bracket. I picked Hofstra over Bama, so that meant I had Tech going to the Sweet 16. Wait, I actually had SLU beating Michigan too. What the
I
heck
think we
was I
had we had
thinking
we
here?
had
Yo, what was I thinking on this side of the bracket? Like I just don't remember this at all.
we had a
What?
similar we had a similar double quad there. I had Hofstra over Bama and I had Tech over Hofstra, and then I had SLU over Michigan.
Bro. And then you had
Yeesh.
SLU for Tech, right?
Nah, I had Tech over SLU.
Yeah, see that might be worse. I'm not gonna lie. That might be
Yeah,
worse. I just had no faith in Tech with uh injury to Toppin. But God, this looks awful for both of us. This is like
yeah, it really does.
we really
Yeesh.
overthought that Hofstra Bama game. I mean, that was a 20-point game. There were some moments throughout it which Hofstra was close, which Hofstra like gave Bama a run for their money, but it wasn't that close. I mean, Bama and LeBaron Philon have been too tough so far. I mean, 20-point victory and a 25-point victory on their route to the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
I'm very intrigued to see how they match up with Michigan. I still favor Michigan in that matchup, but it'll be something to see.
Yeah, speaking of the Sweet 16, let's go and get into our second chance brackets because we need to get on some second chances this one. Unless you have any more takeaways
We
from.
good. I don't want to talk about my bracket anymore.
I really don't want to either. But second chance bracket. Let's go through the Sweet 16 real quick. See who's playing right now in the East region. Duke and St. John's, Michigan State, UConn. That's the Sweet 16 matchups over there. The South region, Iowa, Nebraska. If you told anybody that's going to be a Sweet 16 matchup at the end of the year or at the start of the year, I don't think anybody would have believed you. Obviously, Nebraska has won 2 tournament games when they have never won a tournament game before this year. Iowa has made Sweet 16 for the first time since I believe 89 or 99, one of those years, I think. And the other South
Yeah, it
game,
was 99. Them and
99.
St. John's haven't been in since 99.
Yeah, okay. And
And then
then obviously,
outside of them in Nebraska is it's crazy. I was looking at it.
yeah,
Texas
Illinois.
is the next, which is 2023. Like These
Oh,
everybody
really?
else aside from them is teams that are like consistently in the Sweet 16.
Damn,
It's actually crazy.
that's crazy. But yeah, in that South region is also Illinois, Houston, which I feel like we see that last year or 2 years ago, I believe. It was. I feel like it was one of those
Um,
years.
it feels
Was it?
familiar. I was actually more so hoping for a Florida Houston matchup in the Elite Eight, but
Yeah,
you know, Florida, Thomas Howe, Alex Condon, we couldn't get that done.
yeah. We on Bennett starts right now. Um, moving over to the West region, Arizona versus Arkansas. We will all be Darius Acuff fans here on the front on the pod for the next couple days.
Absolutely, we love Darius Acuff.
Yes, shout out our
Let's
friend
go.
Preston Rab. West region also Texas Purdue. Shout out Zach. I'm fell in love with this Texas team as well. We were watching it. Was it last night or 2 nights ago on
2 nights
Saturday?
ago.
Yeah, 2 nights ago on Saturday we were watching that game. I was like, man, this Texas team is fun. Swain, Chapa, Kendall Weaver.
All right, that's crazy, bro.
Um, gotta love all that teams. Midwest
Hey
region.
man, they believe in us. God did. I can't even say I did though. I'm not gonna lie. I can't even say I did. I had Gonzaga in Sweet 16.
Midwest region, Michigan and Bama. Uh, I will be rooting for LeBaron Furlan and Bama in that one. And then obviously in that last matchup, Tennessee, Iowa State. Two teams that very polarizing. Iowa State, we don't know what the status of Joshua Jefferson is yet. And Tennessee has been on a roll, but Nate Ament has been playing the best basketball, in my opinion. That's their quote unquote A guy.
Star. I mean,
Although it
Gillespie
really
too.
should be, yeah,
Gillespie's really their guy.
it really be Jacoby Gillespie in that sense. But yeah, those are our Sweet 16 matchups. Zach, we'll start in the West or in the East region. Duke and St. John's, give us a preview. Michigan State, UConn
I
preview.
have a bit of a hot take here. Like I really think St. John stands a chance in this game against Duke. I mean, Zuby is a great matchup for Cam Boozer. We've seen Cam Boozer struggle in the past. Like I've heard people talk about this matchup too, if we possibly got it. But Zuby is a physical forward who can give Cam like who he can match Cam Boozer's physicality down low, and maybe force him to pass the ball more, force him to be more of a facilitator than a scorer, which I don't think that's a problem for Booze. I think it's a problem for the rest of Duke's supporting cast on if they can capitalize, if they can, play off of Booze well, if they can, hit their shots, take attention away. So I'm very intrigued at how this matchup plays out. Like I'm the biggest KM Boozer FC writer there is, but I think Zuby gives him a lot of trouble. I don't know. I'm still gonna pick Duke. They've struggled the first 2 rounds. They're my natty pick. I can't move off them yet. They
Yeah,
looked a lot better with Gongba back out there in the TCU game. So give me Duke. And
yeah.
then continuing the East region, Michigan State, UConn. Neither of these teams I love. I would just be honest. I don't love either of those teams.
I think you'd fall in love more with one team than the other, though. I'm not gonna lie. In this matchup,
Yeah, it's definitely the one with Cohen Carr on it. Yeah, totally.
I
I'm kidding, but it's hard.
here's where my issue lies with the UConn.
Mhm.
Their first two games were against Furman, which they struggled against. We saw Furman almost come back in that game. They were in that game for a while.
God, that would have been awesome.
Yeah, I mean, they were really in that for a while. And Furman was really one of those teams where if they weren't injured for most of the season, they wouldn't be a 15 seed. And they got matched up with UConn, which most people's eyes was a really fair matchup for them. Like people thought that Furman's athleticism and height could really bode well against UConn, and only lost by 11, which was out of all the two 15 seeds by far and away the closest one. Even some 3 14 seeds games was the closest one. Um, and then UConn goes against UCLA, and it's a complete different story where they kind of just handled business against UCLA, and it is almost just like a tale of two sides. Is like struggled against the lower seed, played really well against the higher seed. Now you go against Michigan State, who, in my opinion, has been playing the best basketball of the season already. They didn't play well in conference play. They didn't play well in the Big Ten tournament. Obviously, they got knocked out in the quarterfinals to UCLA, who UConn beat. So this game is a very polarizing game for me, but I'm not going to rock off the Michigan State train. We stay on that train. Michigan State to the Elite Eight. But yeah, in my opinion, like it's really tough for. I think Michigan State's defense is the lacking part of this team. This team really loves to get out in transition. We see that with how Fears, anybody that gets the rebound, it's immediately find Fears and get out of there. Um, and then obviously you have Lobrev, Cohen, Carr, all that kind of stuff. So this team loves to push the pace. UConn loves to slow it down a lot, and they shoot a hell of a lot of threes, which Michigan State's not the best at. So this game is really going to, I feel like, come down straight to the wire. But it's going to be which team do you trust more in the clutch? I'll take State. I mean,
Yeah,
I was talking about it last week when we were making our picks. It's really sometimes it comes down to the coaching, but these are two of the most prolific coaches in the history of the sport, Dan Hurley and Tom Izzo. So that's also where it comes down. That's almost chalked up and even right there too.
that's a good point. But I've been sitting with the stats here for a bit, just while you were talking. I think I got to go with Michigan State. Like UConn is the more efficient team. That's there's no doubt about
Absolutely,
that.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
They are. It's pretty close in the turnover battle, but UConn slightly edges them out there. But the rebounding battle is where Michigan State asserts its dominance, and that's kind of been my thing going into this tournament. Talking about Michigan State is they are the ninth best offensive rebounding team in the nation, and they are the best defensive rebounding team in the nation. And I think that bodes really well in a matchup with UConn, who is poor at that. UConn is also terrible about fouling, and they're terrible about getting to the line. That just doesn't bode well yet again. And on top of that, their adjusted tempo. They are 319th in the nation. They are slow as hell. So,
Hmm.
with that being said, I'm a rock with Izzo. Don't love this Michigan State squad, but I think they can beat UConn.
Yeah. Also, one more thing that I mean, uh, what was I gonna say? I don't remember what I was gonna say. You were talking about something. I don't even remember what I was gonna say now. We'll just move on to the next.
Well, hold on. What were your picks? I didn't fully like. Did
Oh,
you go?
I have Duke over St. John's, and then I have Michigan State over UConn. Um, yeah,
Okay, I guess that's fair. I mean, kind of doubling up here. I wish we had a bit of difference, but
I think that's the one place we're gonna have the same one. I think
I
the
don't know.
rest
I
of them
don't
are
like.
gonna.
I don't want to pick against Duke, bro. I'm rocking with that squad. I'm rocking with
Oh, and
Booze,
I'm just saying
bro.
for the rest of this bracket for the second chance, I think we have some differing picks. I'm not gonna lie.
I think yeah. We'll change it up. We'll
Yeah,
get there.
let's
We'll
move
get
over to the
there.
West region. U of A, Arkansas, Texas, Purdue. Which we talk about first? Say best for last.
We're going west. I was gonna go south.
Let's go West.
All right. Let's go U of A Arkansas. Uh, Interesting matchup. I like Acuff has been a baller. That sounds crazy for someone like me to say. You know, like we're we're neither of us are particularly high on Darius Acuff. I especially, but for 1 week, for 1 week only, we love Darius Acuff.
Love.
He, we love Darius Acuff. I mean, that is we're rocking with Darius Acuff here. But I think it's over. I think they were like I don't trust them in this game. I don't trust them to keep up with U of A's physicality, their dominance in the paint, their dominance on the glass. I think I think they'll that it could be a close game. I think it'll probably be a close game. I just think U of A is too much for Arkansas. So
Yeah,
we rocking with U of A.
from what you're saying, off of the fact that U of A's dominance and physicality in the paint is going to be too much. That's kind of where it's going to come down to because Acuff been amazing. He's what I think he has like 90 points for the first two games of the tournament, something like that. He's dropped. Did you drop 40 in the first round? Is that what it was?
No,
It was like
no, I don't.
36 or 35, something
Yeah,
like
he
that.
dropped a.
It
Yeah,
was
it's like
still
thirty
it was still
six.
some crazy enough number. But a lot of his points come from dribble drive moves, get downhill into the paint. So what it comes down to is if UFA can avoid fouling him, just go straight up at the rim, meet him at the rim, then Eric Acuff's going to have a hard time of being the offensive engine that he's been for the Arkansas Razorbacks for the first 2 rounds. Now, on the flip side, he can still shoot the lights out the ball. U of A's physicality comes more down low. They can't really move as well along the 3-point line. So if Acuff can knock some shots down from there, that's going to help, his team a lot more. Um, but it just comes down to which team is going to be more consistent and which team has showed more promise throughout the tournament and throughout the season. For me, that's the U of A Wildcats. Unfortunately, they just, it's, again, the physicality down low, like you said, is just way too much. They've been the most consistent team all season. And despite a couple losses here and there in conference play, they're one seed for a reason. And Braden Burries is one of the best players in the country, in my opinion, still. Um, that's going to be a fun matchup, though, if they match up Burries against Acuff, which I think they probably will. That's their 2-point guards, 2 guards in the backcourt. I think that's going to be fun to watch, but U of A moves on to the Elite Eight. Unfortunately, may I add.
Yeah, I not much. I don't have much more to say there. I'm excited to watch the prospects play there, like Braden
Absolutely.
Burries, Mateus Krivas,
Kobe.
Darius Acuff. Yeah, he's in there too. He's along there too. Him and Trayvon Brazil will be pretty cool to watch.
Here's
Trayvon
here's
Brazil.
what I'm going to say. If Acuff can get like close to like 15 points in the paint, every NBA GM and scout should look at that game and say Kobe is not a good basketball player, because Kobe anchors that interior defense, in my opinion,
No, he
because of the
does
way he moves.
not. What?
The way he moves, that's why.
He's not the anchor there. That's just not true at all. It's Mateus
Okay,
Krivas.
it's still Krivas, but like if you're scoring 50, okay, if you're scoring 15 points in the paint, that's more on Krivas though. I just want to hate Kobe.
It's definitely much more of an issue with Krivas if that happens. But I digress.
I just want to hate Kobe anyway.
I called out the
Go
haters.
ahead.
I called out the haters on this year's Cinderella. Texas. Some people say Texas isn't a Cinderella, but I say Texas isn't known to be a men's basketball school necessarily, and they're a double-digit seed. Why aren't they a Cinderella? So, sorry, I wanted to have that argument real quick.
Okay.
Don't know if you have a differing opinion, but I think Texas is absolutely a Cinderella.
Honestly, don't really care.
Unfortunately, I think the run comes to an end here. I think Purdue moves on. Purdue just kind of dominates them in the 4 factors, more efficient, much better in the turnover economy, dominate the boards. Texas does have them beat in free throw rate and the rate that they get to the line, but that's been Texas's Achilles heel all year, is that they foul the crap out of opposing teams, and that just won't fly in a game like this. Now, Purdue does give me a lot of concerns with their tempo rate. They are very slow as molasses, but that's just kind of how they play, with Braden Smith being their point guard one, the new all-time leading assister, I guess is the term, in NBA or NCAA history. But yeah, this Purdue team has been there, done that. They're experienced, and they dominate the 4 factors. It's not much. It's hard for me to pick against Texas after they've done this, but I'm gonna do it one more time. I think Purdue beats Texas, moves on to the Elite Eight.
Yeah, here's where I think we have a little bit of difference, because I have Texas beating Purdue.
Really?
It's just for the fact that I've watched the games with you, and like this game's going to come down to a big shot made at the end of the game, and Texas has shown that in the first 2 rounds, even in the first 4 when they beat NC State. It's going to come down to that, no doubt about it. And I trust, a guy like Swain, or who's the guy, Cody Heim?
Wait, what?
Wait, who's the guy that hit the shot against
Camden Heide?
Oh, Camden Heide. Sorry, why did I say Cody Heim? Sorry, that's kind of close.
Well,
Camden Heide.
I was a bit confused because we got Nick Cody, who's number 10. He balled out last round.
Yeah, the Texas is playing with that the chip on the shoulder mentality, which we've seen has gotten teams pretty far. Nebraska was one of the teams that had a chip on their shoulder because nobody believed in them. They said, "Oh, it's a fluky run." Look at them; they're in the Sweet 16. Tennessee, everybody was like, "Yo, this team's not going to be that good." They faltered in conference play. Sweet 16. Iowa State, from the start of the tournament, they lost Josh Jefferson 3 minutes into their tournament run. Sweet 16. Chip on their shoulder teams, it means a lot more in March. Texas has probably the biggest chip on their shoulder right now with everybody saying they're not Cinderella, all this kind of stuff. Even before they shouldn't have been in the tournament, all this kind of stuff. Um, roll with Texas, chip on the shoulder mentality. I love Dalen Swain too.
All right, moving on. Who are we rocking with next? Iowa, Nebraska. Is that our next move?
Yeah,
I bet. Interesting matchup. I mean, these are two teams that you could like. You know that meme where it's like, oh, look at us. Who would have thought? Who would have
yeah.
thought these teams would be playing on weekend two? I mean, either of them really. I I know you picked against Nebraska round one, but I didn't think there was a chance in hell that they would have made it out of weekend one. So I give major credit to them. I give major credit to that program. I mean, what a run, what a season. It's awesome to see. This is why you love college basketball. But I don't know. I feel like Iowa could give them trouble. I didn't pick Iowa over Florida. I'll be honest there. I had uh I had Florida going to my Final Four as most people did, but I believe that Iowa had a real chance to give Florida trouble with just their dominant nature in the turnover battle due to Bennett Sturts. So I like just this game's kind of a toss up for me. Like I like a lot of what I've seen from Nebraska, but it's such a close game. I don't know. Iowa's slow as hell. Nebraska just I don't know. What's your pick? Come back to me.
Nebraska. I
Really?
I'm not gonna write them off again. I'm not gonna make the same mistake twice. And I'll stay. I'll die. I'll stay on the hill. I'll take it to the chin if Iowa blows them out. But I'm not gonna make the same mistake twice of knocking them out of the tournament. Just not gonna do that. So I'm gonna roll with Nebraska. Their 3-point shot ability and making and creation has been something that I had way overlooked. That first round matchup, Washington blow out Troy. Obviously, it's Troy, which probably was the worst team in the tournament. But um, like they just knocked down every single 3-point shot. Second round against Vandy, that's kind of what got them over the line. They shot 47% from three. They only took 19 attempts, but they knocked them down when they needed to. And then against this Iowa team, who in the um, in the second round, uh, you know, didn't shoot as well against Florida. That's kind of where it's going to come down to for me. It's 3-point battle, and Nebraska, based off what I've seen, I'll take them. And again, I'm not gonna knock them out again. I knocked them out once, low key twice. I'm not gonna do it a third time.
Yeah. After some very careful consideration, I'm picking Iowa. Like I trust Bennett Straits too much. I trust this team too much. I trust Alvaro Fulgaris too much. Probably. I'm probably gonna get burnt by this, but I'm gonna ride my analytics. Iowa's a more efficient team. They win the turnover battle. I mean, Nebraska's close in the turnover battle. They win the offensive rebounding battle. They get to the line more. Pretty simple. They win the four factors. They are slow as molasses, but I think that works when Bennett Sturts is on his game and he's playing up to his ability, which he has been this tournament. So give me Iowa. Bennett Sturts to the moon. Let's ride. Who do you have for Houston, Illinois?
It's tough because both teams have been playing probably some of the best basketball in the
Hold
tournament.
up. Hold up. Why don't we start with who did you have originally? Because I know I think we both had
I had
this.
Houston, Illinois.
Okay. Yeah,
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 I
yeah.
had
I think we
Houston,
both
Illinois
had Houston,
originally.
Illinois.
I picked Houston over Illinois last week. Don't know if I'm gonna change up, but I might just because it's tough. Houston, it almost feels like they both just play like similar brands of basketball. Like they match up very equally to each other, in my opinion, based off the eye test. I don't know about the spreadsheet test because that's all you, but based off the eye test, of what I've seen, it's they almost play similar brands of basketball. They got, quick backcourts and physical front courts. and can both get a bucket when they need and both get a stop when they need. Like it's kind of how it's been for both these teams this year. So I don't think I'm going to change up. I think I'm just going to rock with Houston. Kingston Fleming is who I said was going to be somebody in the tournament to watch like crazy this game or this tournament. So I'm going to rock with them still. Although Illinois has shown me some great things just off the fact that they've been playing almost like an NBA, like not an NBA offense, but in college, that's what it feels like. They've been playing one of the best offensive schemes I've seen this tournament. It just feels so fluid with them. Houston's been stagnant at times with just watching Kingston Flemings go to work or watching Sharp go to work, which might come back to hurt them in this game. But overall, I've been trusting Houston more this tournament. Illinois' defense probably wouldn't be able to stop Houston as much as Houston could stop Illinois' offense. So I'm a rock with Houston.
Yeah, it pains me to go against my Texas teams. I'd love to see U of H win a natty at some point in basketball, men's basketball, anything really. But I got to go with Illinois here. It's the eye test is telling me to pick Houston. The eye test is also telling me that Illinois has kind of been coasting with easy comps. So it worries me that maybe they come into a matchup against a really physical defensive team like Houston and they struggle. But I gotta rock with the sheets, and the sheets are telling me to hammer Illinois here. Now listen up, Illinois, more efficient team. They dominate the boards. Like them and MSU are like the two dominant board grabbing teams in this tournament. U of A too is in that category too, but Illinois is also so good at winning the free throw battle. I mean, they don't foul at all. They foul the least out of any team in the nation, and they get to the line at a solid rate. So I have to go Illinois here. It's a bit hard. Houston actually dominates the turnover battle for the most part. They force a lot of turnovers, don't turn the ball over that much. So that gives me credence, like that gives me like a little bit of hesitance in my pick, but I still have to go with Illinois here. And
Bears.
yeah, that's about it.
Moving on
Uh,
to the Midwest.
your favorite team versus Bama? Who do you got?
All right, bro. Unfortunately, I had to pick Michigan. Uh, the depth concerns, the injury concerns were something that I had. I feel like a lot of people had going into this tournament, but they've proved that they can win against anybody with whoever's on the court for that team. Their scheme is amazing. Their defense is amazing. Their offense is probably even more amazing than both those combined. And Bama, I've liked what I've seen out of Bama. And without Aiden Holloway, LeBaron Fallon's been playing amazing basketball. They've been wiping their competition for the first two rounds. But again, that was to Hofstra and against to a JT Toppinless Tech. I mean, while Michigan went to battle with SLU, and that was close, but they proved why they're the number one seed in that region. And that game got out of hand pretty quick towards the end of that game. And in this game, it just doesn't feel right to pick Bama. I just don't know why. It just feels like Michigan's going to be too overpowering for them at times. Bama's offense, as good as it has been, scoring 90 points in back to back games, it just feels like it's just one dimensional. It's almost like it's get the ball to final and get out the way. Meanwhile, Michigan's playing as a team. They have 3 first round pick potential players and Yaxel Lindenberg, Ademara, Morris Johnson. Like that team just feels complete and it feels destined to make a run past the Sweet 16. So I'm gonna roll with Michigan.
I'm a side with you on this one. I think Michigan's just the better team here. This is kind of I joked about it with I think you were there. I joked about it with Reese about this kind of being the battle of the teams without their backup point guards for the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that Michigan is more complete than Bama. I do love my guard led teams. I think Bama absolutely wins the guard on guard matchup there with LeBaron Philon in that backcourt as comparison to Michigan, who has Elliot Cadeau. No,
Elliot
no
Cadeau.
hate to Elliot Cadeau. I just think that LeBaron Philon's different. So I wouldn't rule Bama out. We love our guard led teams here, but
Absolutely.
I just think this Michigan team is too complete. They're efficient, dominant on the boards, get to the line a lot, shoot well. I can't pick against Michigan here. It's heartbreaking for Bama because I feel like this was a real year where a lot of them like a lot of Bama fans thought they had a run or thought they had a chance to go far, but it's it's just it's not a good matchup for them against Michigan. So Michigan moves on to face the winner of Tennessee Iowa State. Who do you got there?
This one's just the most toss-up game I feel like in this Sweet 16 right now. Iowa State again. We don't know what's wrong with Joshua Jefferson, but I know he's probably not going to play on Thursday. Or is this? Yeah, no, this is a Friday game. Sorry, he's probably not going to play in this game because that injury looked pretty nasty. He could barely put any weight on it. But then Tennessee also, Jacoby Gillespie's been amazing, but Nate Ament, who they're probably gonna have to rely on at some point throughout this game, it just has not been there this season, and or not this season, this tournament run so far. He almost made some pretty bad plays at the end of the who they play the end of Virginia game, which almost threw the game away for them, but he didn't. But it was there. I think he had one play at the end of the game where he almost threw it away, but then one of his teammates was able to get it and they got fouled. It's just Amen hasn't been there this tournament run, and they're gonna have to rely on him at some point. And for that reason, I don't think he's gonna come up clutch. And I just trust the Iowa State team more. They've shown that they can battle without their lead guy in Jefferson, and I just think they're the better team than Tennessee, even without their star guy. So I'm gonna take Iowa State.
Yeah, I rock with that. I like Tennessee. Like I don't hate this Tennessee squad. I don't love Nate Ament. Like I talked about that before. We talked about that before. But I want to see the guy succeed. And I think this Tennessee squad is half decent. But even without Joshua Jefferson, I find it a bit hard to see them winning this game. It's I don't know. I was looking while you were talking. I was looking for the latest on Joshua Jefferson. He's set to have an MRI this morning, but the results have not come out yet or have not been released to the public. So we will see his status. But he didn't play this weekend at all. So that kind of like leads me to question if he'll play going forward. But I had Iowa State in my natty, so I can't really pick against them. It's hard. I think that they are the more efficient team than Tennessee. They are the more efficient. They are like better. They have a better turnover economy than Tennessee. So I'm gonna rock with them going forward. I'm not changing much. Iowa State to the final or to the Elite Eight.
Cool. Let's get through these Elite Eight matchups. Going forward, we both had Duke, Michigan State. You had Iowa versus Illinois. I have Nebraska, Houston. You have Arizona, Purdue. I have Arizona, Texas. And then we both have Michigan, Iowa State. Let's go with the ones that we have similar or the same. Duke, Michigan State. Who you rocking with? I know who you're rocking with. I know you know who I'm rocking with.
Yeah, let's just we'll keep it a little short and simple. I got Duke winning this game. I if I didn't switch up on them there for St. John's, who I feel like is a much better matchup for Duke than Michigan State, I'm not going to switch up now. Duke stocks to the moon. I think that if they get matched up with Michigan State, I think they can win by a lot. Let's just say that. I think they can win by a lot with UConn too. The big test is going to be that St. John's game. So Duke stocks to the moon. They're going to go to the Final Four. Book it.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I'm just not going to pick against Michigan State. I rock them with them to the natty for obvious reasons. I know, hey, don't stink on me like that, man. Chill out. Um, again, I love to pick Duke, but I'm not going to rock against Michigan State. Uh, it's just we might. I don't love this matchup at all for this team. It's just I'll rock a cautious Winston jersey on that day. We might have some remnants of 2019. We'll see. Hopefully. But I'm just going to go with Michigan State just because of the vibes, for the culture. Because why not?
Yeah, you got Cohen next, Derek Jones Jr. Carr dominating Cameron Boozer in
Oh yeah,
a
yeah,
matchup of elite prospects.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. All right.
Cool. Let's go on to the other side. Uh,
What
opposite
other ones do we have similar?
Michigan, Iowa State.
Okay. This is a hell of a matchup. See, this is where I would start to like question Joshua Jefferson's availability. Like you absolutely need Joshua Jefferson on the court in a potential matchup with Michigan. even then, it's still it's going to be a tough game if Iowa State wants to pull this one off. But I had them before. I think I'm going to have them now. I'm going to pick Iowa State. I'm a bit worried because what if Joshua Jefferson just doesn't come back? But I'm still going to pick Iowa State going to the Final Four. I'm not as confident about this one as I am with Duke, but book it.
Yeah, for the same reasons. I'm gonna pick different though. It's on the status of Jasper Jefferson. If it doesn't play, Michigan has probably a cakewalk to the Final Four for this one. And you want to say if Joshua Jefferson plays, but I'm not gonna make my pick off of a what if because it's a very big what if at this point. I'm gonna go off what we have. Jefferson's injury looked nasty. We don't even know his MRI status, and their next game is in 4 days. Um, and if he comes back, how much of it is a rush thing? How much is he playing injured? How much is he playing hurt? All this kind of stuff. Even if he does come back, so for that reason, I'm picking different. It's Michigan to the Final Four. It's all on Joshua Jefferson at this point, and unfortunately, I don't see him making an impact even if he's hurt, or not impact if he's hurt. I just don't. I don't think we're going to see the same Joshua Jefferson as we have all season if he's playing on a half leg, if you know what I mean. So
I rock with that reasoning. I rock with that reasoning, and yeah, that's pretty solid. Go off what you have. Don't bet on hypotheticals, but I'm going to bet on hypotheticals there. I
that's
just
fair.
I like this Iowa State squad too much. I feel like this is their year. If there ever was going to be a year, this is Iowa State's year, and that kind of broke my heart a little for them when I saw Joshua Jefferson go down the way he did within the first 3 minutes of their run. But moving on, let's wrap up this West region real quick. We both have different picks. You have U of A, Texas. I have U of A, Purdue. And to keep it simple, I'm going U of A. I just think that this U of A squad is just flat out more physical than Purdue. I think they will dominate the rebounding game, I think that'll play a key factor in this. Purdue does win the turnover battle and is a more efficient squad, but I question their ability down low. I question their tempo, and I think that Purdue just I'm not saying Arizona U of A is the best team in March perennially, but Purdue perennially isn't the greatest of teams in March. So let's just continue on with that trend. I've got U of A beating Purdue.
Yeah, I have the same pick for quite literally the same reasons. It's maybe one more, but it's we talked about U of A's physicality against Arkansas, and that's going to bode really well against a Purdue team where, again, we love our offensive heavy teams. We are not offensive. We love our guard led teams in this tournament. That's been a case we've talked about it all week long. Love the guard play, but when a guard led team runs into a physical team like U of A, it doesn't bode that well. What we talked about for what Arkansas doesn't have to face, Purdue's gonna have to face almost the same thing. Their offense is led through Braden Smith, who is an unbelievable playmaker and passer at the college level. That's no fact. That's like just a plain simple fact. He was all time assist leader. Um, but you go against U of A. Wait, I'm not even have Purdue. Am I
I know
stupid?
that's I wanted to get back to it. Like I don't like I wanted to hear your reasoning on who you would pick in a U of A Purdue matchup, but you did pick
Okay, I
Texas.
guess in the U of A Purdue matchup, I go with U of A. Um, Texas. Why did I think I had Purdue? I'm sorry. I apologize. U of A Texas. This one would be more of a fun game. Texas isn't led by an offensive heavy. You're like a guard. Why do I keep saying offensive heavy instead of guard? I'm tweaking right now. Um, Texas isn't led by a guard team like Arkansas is with Acuff or Purdue would be with Braden Smith or Alabama's with LeVar Fall, all that kind of stuff. Their offense is as always, Dalen Swain. You talk about it off air. One of the best offensive scorers this game has seen in the past decade almost. Um, so it'd be a matchup of him versus whoever's at the forward spot for U of A, probably Pete. Uh, which honestly free eats for Swain. But then the rest of the team comes in. Uh, Texas's shot making ability has sort of lingered and been there at times throughout this tournament. But it's been against inferior competition. U of A is again consistency is key. What I talked about in their in their matchup against Arkansas, and that's what I have to rock with still. Best team in the nation all year, most consistent team all year. Rises to the Final Four, and I got at U of A versus Michigan in the Final Four, just like you.
All right, cool.
Moving to
Iowa,
South region.
for me, I have Iowa and Illinois. You have the complete opposite with Nebraska and
Houston.
Houston, right? I love that. You know what? We need a little bit of a little switch up here. This is a interesting matchup because I you have no top seed remaining. I mean, you could say Illinois is a top seed, but they aren't, like a 1 or a 2 seed that is like almost going to guarantee their path to the Final Four
Yeah.
or has the or went into the tournament with the expectation of making the Final Four. So I like this matchup. This is fun. It's good for basketball. Yeah. With that being said, I talked all this about there not being a high seed. I'm going Illinois here. I know it might be like the basic pick, but I just think they're a better basketball team than Iowa. We love our guard led teams around here, but I can't pick Sturts in this matchup. I don't know. That's tough. I love to bet on Sturts, but I love this. I love this Illinois squad too much for them to lose to Iowa here. Too efficient, too great. Like they're too dominant on the boards. Their tempo's whatever. I have to pick them. Illinois to the Final Four.
Yeah, obviously I have an opposite matchup. I have Nebraska versus Houston. It comes down to I picked Houston to go to the Final Four already before. I'm not going to stray off that. Houston's the Final Four, and the reason is just plain and simple. Guard led team. Kingston Fleming is one of the best guards in the nation. Nebraska, as much as their offense relies on 3-point shooting, Houston can really match up alongside that. They have great perimeter defense. Outside of Fleming and all that kind of stuff, but they have great defense that could defend all those threes from Nebraska. And I just, at some point, it's going to have to give. Nebraska has never been in this position ever. We'll see what they do when they get the opportunity. But Houston's proven. Houston's done it before. They were just in the Natty last year. So I'm just going to rock with Houston. I'm not going to stray away from my pick from before. Michigan State Houston matchup, Final Four.
Yeah.
So on this one side, we
Final
have the
Four.
same side. We have the same. On the other side, we have complete opposites. Let's start with the Arizona Michigan matchup. Who do you have in that one?
I pick Michigan.
Iowa State. Sorry. Oh, we do. Yeah, we do. Yeah.
I was actually gonna rock with Duke, Illinois first. So
let's rock Duke, Illinois.
Let's just get that side out of the way with. I've got Duke. Plain and simple. That's why I wanted to go with the side first. I picked Duke to the moon. I'm still saying Duke to the moon. I'm not switching up until somebody proves me wrong. It's like picking the OKC Thunder to win the NBA championship. You're not going to pick against them until it's time to pick or until they lose and it's time to pick against them. So I'm rocking with Duke. They're more efficient. They're one of the only teams in the nation that can go band for band with Illinois on the boards, and I think I buy that. They get to the line better than Illinois. Their pace is more sustainable. I mean, just I don't have a reason really to pick Illinois over Duke. So give me Duke.
Yeah, I have a complete different matchup. I have Michigan State versus Houston.
Defensive battle. I mean, that'd be pretty interesting.
It really is.
Houston's defense is a lot better, but
yeah,
it'll be fun.
I mean, the only reason you could really think about for Michigan State over Houston is that the rebounding on the glass margin. Michigan State is obviously one of the best in the country in doing that. And they probably have more size over Houston in that area too. But for the culture, rocket, Michigan State to the moon. You said Duke to the moon, Michigan State to the moon. Let's roll it. I'm not putting any money on that, but hey, for the culture.
I was gonna say, you want to put money on that?
Nah, hell no, for the culture.
I'm kidding.
I'm also watching Iowa versus Virginia right now. It's an OT, and Iowa's up 1.
Oh yeah, I have it on. I've had it on this whole time. Like if you see me glancing to the left, I've been watching Iowa, Virginia. Yeah, awesome game. But my matchup, all based off a bit of a hypothetical with Joshua Jefferson playing. I don't know if I don't know if I can continue on with my hypothetical in this one. Previously, I had Iowa State to the national championship game. I had them getting their revenge on U of A in the Final Four. Like this was my exact matchup on this side. Is I had Iowa State, getting revenge for what U of A did in the Big 12 tournament and punching their ticket to the Natty. But with the Joshua Jefferson news, I just don't think I can do that anymore. I mean, we've seen a lot of players from Iowa State step up in his absence. Like Bob Chilovich is still there. You still got Timon Lipsey, who is a baller. I just I can't pick them over U of A. U of A's been the most consistent team in basketball all year. Give me Duke, U of A, and the Natty. I know it's basic. Crimea River, the two best teams in the nation meet in the Natty. Like what? How shocking is that? But anyways, that's my Natty.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Obviously, you don't have the same matchup. I have U of A versus Michigan, but I'm gonna go with the same reasoning. Again, I've rocked with the entire time this episode. U of A's been the most consistent team all season, most consistent team in the tournament so far, and physicality down low. They kind of match up pretty evenly, U of A and Michigan in terms of physicality, but consistency is key. And I look at again, I love my guard led teams, and Barry's is arguably better than Elliot Cadeau. In that matchup, I think Barry's going to show why he's, a future lottery pick or close to it. And I'm going to roll with U of A to the final.
Yeah, and in the championship, I just two of the most consistent teams in the nation, Duke, Arizona, the two teams who have sat atop the rankings for a majority of the year, them and Michigan.
Oh my God.
I Everything in my heart is telling me to pick Duke. My mind's telling me to pick U of A. I'm going with my heart because Booze FC don't switch up. Best player in the nation, crowns off arguably his greatest freshman season, the greatest freshman season ever in men's collegiate basketball history, and caps it off with a natty. He'll win player of the tournament and solidify himself as the number one overall pick in the 2026 NBA draft. Give me Duke. Like I said, Duke to the moon.
Yeah, before I get to my natty pick, Virginia, Iowa just went to double overtime. Unbelievable.
I know. Sorry, I missed the final shot. I was on my little rant right there, but
Low key a bad possession by Iowa, but whatever. My final, Michigan State U of A, wrap this episode up. We are taking the Michigan State Spartans. How poetic would that be? The team that we just hate, U of A. Said consistency all the way. My head, my brains, everything about me, around me is telling me to pick U of A. But I'm not doing it, man. It's for the culture. It's what we live for. It's March. We're rocking with Izzo and the Michigan State Spartans to the moon in Indy to get a title. Let's roll with it. No other reason except for the culture.
I guess we both follow in our hearts. Let's just say that.
No other reason except for the culture. You can't hate the culture.
I can't hate it either. I'd be very intrigued to see who Reese is rooting for in this matchup. Maybe he'll be saying his saying that he says about Michigan State. And it's not go green. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Hey, if Reese shows if this is a matchup, which we probably know is not going to happen, but it's Michigan State versus U of A, and he roots for U of A, that might be just the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. But anyways,
hey, if he roots for Michigan State, hey, I know you probably don't have anything like, I don't know. Would you lend him a jersey?
I don't have an extra jersey for him.
Winston, don't you have a Magic one?
No.
Oh, you lend him a hat?
Up.
A hat?
I only got one hat, bro.
Your Miles Bridges jersey?
All right, bro. Chill out, bro.
All right, I'm trolling.
Chill out.
I'm trolling. But if you had one, would you? Yeah,
because he kind of emulates that.
I'm just saying, bro. I'm sitting here imagining
he gets off Miles.
Decked out in MSU gear, bro.
Yeah, Reese gives off Miles Bridges vibes, anyways.
That's crazy. We can't even say that.
Yeah, I can't because whatever. Who's gonna do it too, anyways? Anyways,
Uh, That's crazy. Sorry.
All
That's
right.
awful.
We're going to be back here on Wednesday. Different episode, different type of episode, but those are our picks. Lock them in. Follow us on IG, all that kind of stuff. You'll see them up in a bit. But for now, from the Nosebleeds, my name is Cole Frere. That's Zach Dorosic. Happy March Madness Week 16. We'll catch you on the flip. Peace.